Headquarters. No surprise, it is busy inside this room, and there's an energy, Diane, because there's anticipation for Michael making landfall. Brock Long, as you mentioned, just gave us an update. He called this the worst type of storm, unprecedented. Words you do not want to hear from someone in this post.
We're continuing to keep a close eye on Hurricane Michael. Right now, Georgia Governor Nathan Deal is speaking, and we want to.
So important because this hurricane is going to slice right through parts of the southeast, including states like Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas that just got such hard hit by Florence. But I have a very important update as of noon from the Hurricane Center, and we have wind speeds now up to 150 miles per hour. So this Hurricane Michael is continuing to strengthen right up into landfall, and landfall is imminent in just the next couple of hours. So I want to take you right to the satellite. You can see it. It's so massive here, taking up parts of the entire Florida Panhandle into the southeast. A Category 4, like I said, 150 mile per hour winds. There is nothing that has kept this storm from strengthening all the way up to landfall. We've had the warm water in the Gulf. We had very little wind shear, so really nothing in its way to continue to strengthen right up until it makes landfall this afternoon. It's actually the lowest pressure since Katrina, 923 millibars is the pressure that's the lowest since Katrina. So a very strong, a very powerful, possibly catastrophic storm here.
Just moments ago, Wolf, the National Hurricane Center has lifted now the status of the storm to a Category 3, and it's a mid-level Category 3. We're only 10 miles per hour away from a Category 4 status, and we do have that time and space still available. But let's not concentrate on that. This is going to really impact northern Florida, Georgia, through the Carolinas with more force than we had with Florence. Completely different storms. Florence was all about water, the surge and the rainfall. But right now, we've seen twice in the last 24 hours some rapid intensification. Yesterday, 40 mile per hour sustained winds, up to 85 last night. Now we're at 120, and we've got gusts up to 150 miles per hour. We're 295 miles south of Panama City. The National Hurricane Center picks and chooses their wording very carefully, Wolf. Yesterday, they talked about life-threatening inundation, and this is going to happen. Also, today, they used the word historic. The good news is, I can tell you, for the most part, we saw people still had power.
The conditions there are such, I think it has killed the microphone.
Hard to hear him,
but we're hearing the microphone on the camera. We're going to try to get that.
But it was still interesting to watch because the images,
Scary.
I mean, Janice, those images, the water you could see was in the grass in the backyards of those condos.
If I'm Griff, I need to get out of there right now. I'm being serious. Like, he needs to move his live shot immediately because he's going to be underwater in a matter of hours. So, Griff, I am telling you right now that you need to go to a third or fourth floor building because you will be underwater. It's going to be, but when I see Griff there and a storm surge that's going to be over top of him, he needs to move. Hurricane Category 4, 145 mile per hour sustained winds. This area has never seen something like this before. We're going to see upwards of 14 to 15 feet of storm surge. Strengthening, continue to strengthen as we get closer to a landfall sometime this afternoon. The bottom line here is the Panhandle of Florida has never, ever experienced a storm like this in their history. We are going to be talking about catastrophic, life-threatening damage, storm surge, and hurricane force winds in excess of 140 miles per hour for a duration of several hours. So the latest update as of 5 a.m., it is strengthening. It could actually strengthen even more as we get into the next couple of hours as we approach landfall. And I mean, the storm in the textbooks here is a perfect looking hurricane. All four quadrants have filled out. We've got a well-defined eye. This is unfortunately a worst case scenario for the Panhandle of Florida. Already seeing wind gusts in excess of 35 miles per hour along the coast, 33 in Apalachicola. And again, we are expecting a landfall sometime this afternoon, maybe between 1 and 3. Still yet to be determined, but the strength of this storm is going to be, unfortunately, the legacy of it.
Revelation 7 New King James Version, NKJV. The Seals of Israel. 7. After these things I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, on the sea, or on any tree. 2. Then I saw another angel of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was granted to harm the earth and the sea. 3 saying, Do not harm the earth, the sea, or the trees till we have sealed the servants of our God on their foreheads.
You have these trees here. Hold on, let me. On this one over here, let's go on this one over here. Let's make this big.
Connection is secure.
Look at
Site information.
all
Revelation 7
of these trees.
Sealed of Israel.
What the hell is going on here? Look at even these little ones.
4 options.
None of them are burned. None of them are burned.
This is impossible. There's something else going on here. Something else going on here. The entire building. Everything's gone but the trees.
And you've seen a lot of fires in your time. Chief, have you ever seen a fire like this?
Nothing like this. I've been to a lot of fires, both in the city and outside of the city, and nothing compares to what we saw that night.
There were things that really shocked us the next morning looking at that, where there was a vehicle upside down, 100 feet into Coffee Park.
Oh my God, please leave the horses there. Please, God, please.
You're about to enter a very strange world. A world of alleged spooks and spies, of conspiracies and covert operations, of illicit transmissions across the globe to secret agents on undercover operations.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down and read pastures. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Ghost, as it was at Farah, and Ta, and I, and Elohim, and
blessed him. We've been birthed into his creation, but we've never met him. But now we can see him live and in person. Wouldn't that be something? But anybody could stand up and say, here I am. The world knows Allah. There's all kind of Michael Jackson imposters. But there's something about the imposter when the real thing comes. The imposter just has to sit down. You have many lookalike Michaels, but there ain't but one Michael. Pardon my language, there is not but one. There are many lookalike Michael Jordan, but there is not but one. You may have many playing God, but there is only one. He's unique, he's incomparable, he's matchless. There's none like him. Now listen. The name Allah, but if one were to translate it, it would mean the one true God. All of the righteous names of God belong to him. All of the names that we call on, it's every name, but each of them describes an aspect of the God. But the best name to give it is Allah, for it encompasses all of the good names.
Hello, I'm
Jehovah is a good name.
And mathematicians have known for many, many years that for some reason the number 72 is like a magic code that will tell you very important things. And it works like this.
But Allah, that is the name that encompasses all of the good names. The one we have not known, we have not known to
Yeah, this is for the viewer. When Rob was first on, it was episode 6 and 7, and then the previous time you were on, it was episode 49, so 7 times 7, and then now again another odd number comes up. This is episode 72, and like I was telling Rob before, this wasn't planned. It just happened to be that. So what do you make of it, Rob?
Well, what's crazy about that to me is that my entire journey that led me to being a public speaker and author and everything that I've done really since 2010 was because on December 21st, 2010, at about 2:22 in the morning Central Standard Time, my wife and I were out for a walk, 2:22 in the morning, and I looked up and the moon was turning blood red. Everybody's talking about the blood moons right these days. Well, this was back in 2010.
He has spoken to them according to the scripture. He spoke to them. They heard his voice in their ears. He revealed to his servants, the prophets, the Torah, the gospel, the Quran. And according to the Holy Quran, every nation has received a messenger. Every nation has received a warner. Every people have received somebody from the God that has guided them, taught them, warned them, united them, purified them. Even